bum 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 bum. Dun dun. Yo, hello everybody. We have arrived. It is Tuesday. Amazing. It's good to see everybody again. Huzzah on progressing through December. We are almost done with 2024. Holy heckin' crap. It went by fast. All of the fun and excitement. But here we are. And on our 60th episode, no less. So that's wild.
Dang.
Wild.
So
Dang.
close to being nice.
So
Does this mean we have
close.
to play 9
Oh
more
my
episodes?
gosh. That would
Can we,
that would be
can
awesome.
we have an epilogue be about a certain someone
Oh my
in
god.
that episode?
That could go a lot of different directions.
Oh yes, I love to imagine.
I'm sure.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Lord Dumplings is just all of Iskra's AO3 readings.
We'll bring Vix on as a special narrator.
Don't worry, there's a
Flash
talent
Illustrator.
narrative in there too.
There's what in
And
there
I've
too?
got all of the ships.
All the ships. I bet. I bet.
Yeah, you can talk about Astrid's ship. You can
Is that
talk
where all
about
the ships
Amadeus'
went?
ship.
Because our two captains don't have ships right now.
At least not with them currently in their inventory. What was I gonna say? Oh, thank you everybody thank you everybody who came and hung out with us on Friday. We had a
I
great
just
time.
caught up. It's so good.
We had a great time with all of the Star Wars in all of the galaxy far, far away, with the soon
We
to be
sure did.
with the soon to be what's it called, commercial filled slurp fest that is McSlurp and Slurpees and all the other slurp merchandising on Saturn Slurps.
Coming to a tiki bar near you.
I showed that to Sonder earlier, and I was like, literally, this was this was peak Star Wars character for me. I don't know. I had so much fun with that person. I just made up on the spot, so that was a good time. But yes, looking forward to next month's continuation of that storyline. Here we are with the continuation of this storyline, and tomorrow, you guys vampiring.
We are, provided there are no more weather mishaps.
True.
The weather,
That
if
being
it
said,
happens.
it will be the last one of this year due to likely needing a winter break. Because the next one would either fall on Winter's Day or New Year's Day. So I think we're just going to let it go for a little bit. Pick up again in the new year. But we'll see how things go. We might do it New Year's Day, depending on what people are doing.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, recovering
Stay
probably.
vampires. That's
A
fun.
bunch of new vampires, but kind of makes sense.
I like it.
So does that mean no, I'm not going to
No,
say.
no. Commit your bullshit. That's what we do here.
Does this mean that the first day of 2025 is going to suck?
Yes, that needs to be our promo.
I'm
Multiple.
proud of you, Aaron.
When you show commercials for it while we wait for the next vampire.
In so many ways. Well, how many vampires are there currently? Are there five vampires?
5 or 6.
Yeah, so
Depends on who's made a bad decision.
So 5 or 6 different ways. Beautiful. All right. Well, hopefully no more puns have to afflict our mental stratospheres today.
At least until after the opening credits.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Cypress, are you ready, buddy?
No. It'll be fine.
No.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's it.
I know your shirt says Budapest, but it really should be Buddy Test right about now.
Ooh.
You
Well,
shouldn't be worried about the
friend
title of the
zone.
episode at all.
I never
Yeah.
know what it is anyway. because
When
I
the
don't
party
see-
is over.
I thought Laertes might like that. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get into tonight's episode of Age of Myth.
It's funny because it's dark.
"22nd of Thargelion, Hemeria Helu. Captain Amalene. Oh no. Today I went with Mama to the market to get fishes and tubers. We were making some stew for tonight. She says that the seabirds that make a nest in the attic have returned, and that we are going to be having auspicious company. She also had me practicing my writing upstairs. I had to write my name until I ran out of scroll papers, but that was so many, and I got bored. So I wrote on most of them and then started drawing on the rest. I will keep them safe between some tablets I found on the beach. Then I took a nap. Then I woke up and went next door to see if Lucio wanted to play, but he wasn't there. So then I came home and I started to practice battle tactics with the crew. Jamila was sloppy and kept falling off the shelf. She will have to be punished. Hector made me proud as he landed a cartwheel after I threw him off the bed. I mean, after he jumped off the ship. That's when I heard his voice downstairs. Amadeo returned. Very, 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 very late. He was supposed to have been here for the winter time, but now it's summer. His tribute to the treasures of Captain Amalene of Thespi will have to be doubled, and he won't be able to worm his way out of it either. That's what Mama says he does. Worm. Which is funny because worms are dirty and squishy, and so is he sometimes. Especially when he lets me play with the cheeks of his face and stretch them out like this. He gave me a bunch of stories with pictures in them. I'm going to have to keep writing my name and some of the other things that I see in this book for practice. With him came some new people for his crew. And one day, if they don't displease me, they will be part of my crew too. There's a girl with snakes under her hood, and another one that sits way too close to her. She almost falls out of her chair. Oh, and then there's one that she says she's a captain too. I will probably have to fight her one day though, so I will pay attention so I can find out her weaknesses. Anyway, we sat down eating mom's stew. I guess the seabirds were right. Then they all went out to see performers that were in town. And then that's how I met you, Mal, and how I convinced you to let me write a story in your journal. Otherwise, I would have to hang you upside down from the tree outside and have my crew empty your pockets. I don't want to have to do that. I think I'm going to marry Hector. When he's old enough, of course, and not made of straw. I think that's all. Signed, Amalene of Thespi, Dread of the Aegean Sea, cutthroat, pirate, and daughter of Amadeo, the best captain to ever sail, row, or walk the world. The end.
I'm so happy right now.
That was marvelous.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Can turn that off now. Okay. That was really difficult to write. You have no idea. The desire to do run-on sentences was strong. But it's okay. Miles, proofread her. No, was it not proofread? She was
Dictated but not read.
dictated. Yeah, she dictated it. Thank you, Pip. It's actually we'll tell you later, or you'll meet them in a minute. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Let's not do this one. Last we left off, it was late in the evening here in the city of Thespi. Night had come, and you guys find yourselves following the crowd as it leaves the theater. Some of the people have already returned to their homes. There's a few people here and there that are spread out, discussing the events of the performers of Circe's Soleil, a band of a troupe of fae creatures from all over that came to put on a little show here in this city that sits at the edges of the Bay of the Aegean, with the illustrious city of Thebes sitting a couple miles offshore, glistening in the light with, what was it that we said had the spotlights that were going across? It doesn't, but it's fun to pretend. Yeah. So after Astrid, Laertes, Cyprus, and Amadeo, you guys split off. You guys are heading back to the helm?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had taken that.
I was
that
literally
shield
about
okay.
to say there is a shield that
Okay.
that you have that you can add to your inventory there. A surprisingly light and sturdy piece of metal. It is well strapped on the inside and has a really smooth, almost like as you like pick it up and look it over, the inside of this shield is like hyper reflective almost. It is so perfectly formed that there aren't any like dents in it like there would normally find in a shield that has seen a lot of wear. The front and back is just very intricately made, so you can add fancy shield to your inventory. Fancy trash shield. Trashed shield. Okay, you guys head back. Themisto,
Boy,
Phoebe.
It's gonna be such a pain for Matthias to turn in, or like when he has to go and give all his armor back when he quits the army. So it says here on your inventory you should have a shield.
Themisto, Phoebe, you guys were
Yes.
left in the garden. What are you guys doing?
I think we'll stay just a little bit longer before heading back.
Just talking to one another, holding one another, summing up their feelings at the event that just transpired. Themisto is, after listening to Phoebe, feeling really good about herself and about Phoebe and where they are, as she often has.
And I went to explain kind of what was going on in Phoebe's head last week, and I think that's when my internet died. Phoebe is surprisingly not as sad as she thought she would be. She hurts for how much she hurt Matthias, but knows there's nothing that she can do that will take that pain away now. Her old life is well and truly over now, and now she feels free to be who she really is. She's free to be with Themisto. And she says a little silent prayer. Begrudgingly that it's Hera, but not begrudgingly for Matthias, if that makes sense. That one day Hera can help him heal and help him have a life better than they had together.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Just some smooching and stuff, but
Yeah, there are some of those
TLDR.
things, but you could ask us during the lore dumplings about the extra content, the bonus content.
Alrighty. Alright, you guys head back to the helm then. Let's see here. As you guys leave, the starry night that is from that had like encased you guys in starlight and color from above now is starting to get cloudy again as looks like more clouds are rolling in from the sea. And the smell of wet earth starts to kind of pick up on the breeze. So you guys head back to the helm. All right, beautiful.
Are any of the guys sitting out doing that thing where they're awkwardly like, "We weren't waiting up for you. No, we're just being casual."
I think they'd already left.
Okay, because I know at one point they were like, "Do we go talk to them? Do we like?"
Are we gonna tail
Oh, yeah,
this
we did say
guy?
that.
they're
Yeah.
trying to do?
I think y'all are getting ready to like
Yeah.
fight Matthias or something.
No, I don't think so.
You'd already been crushed enough.
I think the sum total of Laertes' response was, whatever that is, that looks like it's not our concern, and we shouldn't be involved. Oh, look, the helm is that way. Whether anyone else followed him, I don't know.
Yeah.
Amadeus was finders keepers.
And then left the scene of the theft.
Is that a theft if it was thrown away? Basically. Basically.
1,000 garbage.
I'm surprised it waited that long.
That's beautiful. All right. The night seems to get a smidge cooler as you four, Astrid, Laertes, Cypress, and Amadeo, reach the helm once again. Trying to adjust this thing. I keep seeing there's like a line that's under Amadeo. I know it's bugging me. All right, it's good now. We're good. It's all good. Laertes, as you open the door to the helm on the far side of the city, back within the district, the Saline district. There's you see a hobgoblin woman that is behind the counter right now. She's in the process of like cleaning out some bowls and drying them and setting them on the racks, and she turns to you all, and she kind of her eyes narrow a little bit as you enter, and then Cypress and Astrid. So you are out awfully late. Are you, I'm supposing, the guests that we had been told to expect?
Yes, we were just out enjoying the festivities.
Yes. Well, it is good to officially meet you. I am Odello. I work here at the helm. Amadeo, as you were walking up and you hear the voice talking, do you go?
Sneak check.
All right, I figured you might try and go around the back.
Amadeo was here a moment ago. He was part of our party.
Yeah, I would say, Astrid, you be.
Ooh,
What?
9.
Amadeo was like behind you as you guys were entering. You could hear this lady talking to you guys as you enter. You leave the door kind of partially open, expecting Amadeo to come in behind you. And as like the conversation kind of continues, you kind of turn your head back to look to see where Amadeo went, and he's like not behind you, but the door is kind of like open, and he's like does a quick little jumps across the open doorway, just in time for you to see, and Odello, who rolled a 15, like she looks like up and past you.
It's that scene in Scott Pilgrim where he jumps out the window behind walls.
Oh, you just missed him. Sorry.
She just goes, he's back. There's no sense hiding, Captain. I know you're here.
Hiding? Why would a captain hide? Oh, look. It's you.
Hello, you. What are you doing back so late? I thought you would never come back, finally.
Nope, still alive, unfortunately.
Ugh. I'm going to have to hire better bounty hunters.
At least they keep me sharp.
So, I hear you are making replacements. Losing crew members so fast, are you?
It is dangerous out at sea, as you well remember.
There's a little bit of like the narrowing of the eyes, and if like the hackles on the back of her neck could rise, you could just see like the tension just go. I'm sure it has. So she looks to try and avert.
Can I
her-
non-stealth check? Try to be sort of just crab walking out of the scene. Just, oh, that's awkward. Just no.
You don't have to worry about it, because Amadeo is just going to start walking upstairs.
And you see she focuses her attention on you three and kind of just ignores him as he walks up the stairs.
Mineko and Ameline said that you would be here and spoke well of you. We have 2 others that are coming, who may come in later tonight, but this is most of us.
Well, here are the keys to your rooms. She puts these like metal keys down, and when you are ready, you may go out, go upstairs to the rooms. They are not going to be large or very fancy. She looks over at Laertes when he says that. And she's like, they're not going to be very fancy, but they will be comfortable enough, I hope, for your stay here.
Oh, well. Scholars aren't exactly known for being rich, so anything would be appreciated.
I don't know. Compared to the other types that we see here, I'm sure that you are probably used to a little more than they are.
We'll see.
She asks, like, anything I can get you to eat or drink, or is there anything that you require at the moment? She grabs a big jug and like fills a large goblet with some wine.
I'll take some vinegar wine before bed.
Yeah. Sure, if that is what you wish. She goes and grabs the wine. And she's like, I will
Is
be
it
right.
just the old wine that's been sitting out all day, or
Mm. It's a
Add
special.
some
It's a.
vinegar to a port.
It's
I don't know.
a.
I think there's something to it. Something about drinking it makes me feel more awake and energized.
Bedtime?
Yes. She gets up and she goes to the corner. There's like a like a reclining divan that's near the fireplace. And she goes and serves a man that's laying down over there.
I'll go sit over there.
You go over by the fire.
Mhm.
You go and take one of the seats on the other side. You weren't really able to like see anything but curly black hair. But as you come around, you see this man dressed in a very simple tunic, very comfortable like traveler's tunic. He's got the sandals that are there unstrapped and off to the side, as he just seems to be cozying up, leaning against this divan and staring into the flames. And as you go sit down, you make yourself slightly comfortable. You look over and you make eye contact with Ares.
Breeze. Oh well, okay. Long night.
So it would seem. You all were out late.
We decided to catch the show that is going on, since there are no boats to Thebes. And the last city we were in, they did not want to take us on the flying ships.
I would assume not. It was a very particular command from Zeus. Maybe one day. Just not
Perhaps.
not now. Although, if I'm to understand, you have been on one recently yourself.
Oh, you know this. So then you have spoken to Astrea.
I have.
I was going to keep it quiet. Good, she told you.
Well, I didn't exactly give her a choice. I kind of outrank her. It's a military thing. Are you coming over to join us, Cyprus and Laertes?
What?
You hear, oh my gosh, Ares' voice call out from across the room.
Hmm.
This is the
course.
first. This is the first time that you come over. This is the first time you've seen him not in armor. Like this is like the equivalent of when they say oh my gosh, hold on, let me
civilian clothes.
Yes. Well, it's it's that feeling of seeing a teacher outside of school. It's like that kind of just weird, like, oh my gosh, this is so strange. Especially
It's
because
Friday o'clock, or yeah, it's Friday. It's after 5 o'clock. I do not know you. Is the usual attitude.
yeah. And the fact that he is like just so informal. He has always been military and rigid up until this exact
And
moment.
He's sort of like laying down across this thing rather
He's
than.
he's kind of
He's
like
giving
the
it
way
the full Hassel the Hoff pose.
he's it's like a kind of a sideways lean, but not entirely.
Are you here for us, sir?
Yes. But I will
Darn,
wait.
I thought you might be here to relax.
I have done plenty of relaxing these last few years. I think I'm okay. I'm not always on the go, you know. But sit.
I had
Go ahead.
I had a question about Thebes while you were here.
And I have things to say about Thebes while I'm here.
Mm.
But we can wait until your companions arrive. They are bound to get here shortly.
Quick question. Amadeo went upstairs, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
And
So I had
and-
a-
yeah, sorry.
I'll lean into Ares. The one that we're traveling with. The other Capitanios.
Yes.
I believe he wants his daughter tested.
Eyebrows go up. The child? The one upstairs?
Well, I'm assuming it's that one. I don't know with him.
He does strike me as a very interesting type.
Hmm.
But yes, there's only one child in this building.
Sense this.
Yes.
Hmm.
Consider it something to look forward to in the centuries to come. You learn many abilities that would surprise you. Given time and training. You'll get there.
Well, around that subject, Athena and her retinue
The
seem
Valens.
surprised. They seem surprised that I could, to some extent, sense the plague.
You see
I
his
think that
face.
that's not common even among you.
His face hardens. No. No. That is truly a unique gift that you have. Consider yourself fortunate, I suppose. I don't think I have been jealous of another man's ability and ever.
And if it's any consolation, it's flawed.
Being the first of its kind, undoubtedly there are going to be fine tunings that can be made over time. But do not see it as a weakness. You have a gift that we do not have. The gods of Olympus cannot detect the plague that sent us scrambling. I don't know if you are lucky or cursed. That kind of knowledge could...
You see the lucky or cursed thing, that sets his jaw a little bit.
The door opens. Themisto and Phoebe walk in.
So there's one thing I wanted to do before we get back to
Sure.
the helm.
Okay.
On the walk back, I would like to look for a little alley where there are no people around.
Okay.
And then we'll pull Themisto in. Themisto, you have kept your promise to me. And this time I keep a promise to you. Going to hold her very tightly and then take her for a 1 minute long flight. I'm gonna, again, it's only a minute, but shoot us both into the air. Fly around for a few seconds and then safely land before the wings stop.
Themisto just enjoys looking out at everything as often as she can, although her eyes are often on Phoebe. Just enjoying this feeling of flying and being embraced. Well, you know, she often has that feeling of flying inside anyway, when she's with Phoebe. But this is even better.
Nice. Alrighty.
And then we'll head back to the helm.
land.
Oh, okay, you've got something.
Are you going to land right outside the helm?
I probably couldn't get there in a minute.
Okay.
So it's just going to be, I mean, so as to not, you know, like give us all whiplash from double dashing in a minute. Probably land in that same alley just because there are no people around.
Okay. Themisto will, as they finish the flight, whisper in Phoebe's ear. She'll have like a little mischievous smirk, and she'll whisper in Phoebe's ear and say, "I love you," and kiss right behind and beneath her ear, like right there, basically, and then kiss her on the lips. And then we'll start walking back.
Alrighty.
And then we show up to Eris. Before the bad things happen, we have to be cute and all romantic.
Just like
Alright. So you get to the helm and you open the door. As you open the door, you hear the soft sounds of conversation. You look over to the fireplace and you see Astrid, Laertes, and Cypress sitting around the fire with a man in his like he looks like mid 40s probably, maybe somewhere in this, maybe towards the end of his 40s. But you it takes just like a couple seconds more because, like I said, the only time you've ever seen him is in armor. So to see him not dressed in the shining armor, also to not see him standing at like almost attention the whole time either, is just a different persona altogether. Oh, good. You hear the voice of Ares. You've arrived.
Lord Ares.
You don't have to use titles here. Come, sit. Odello, a few beverages for my companions, if you don't mind. Odello goes behind the bar. You see the hobgoblin woman pour some drinks. She comes over. Yes, General, and then provides them to everybody.
Nice to meet you. Odello, was it?
Yes. I'm overseeing the tavern for the night while the mistress sleeps upstairs.
Do I need to insight? Her calling him general is. Does that give a level of familiarity with like who he really is?
You know he's a general in Ilum,
Right.
so not necessarily.
Okay.
But she goes, and once she serves, she basically grabs her own glass and goes to the opposite side of the tavern. Just is watching the ongoings, but is giving you plenty of privacy and space from where you guys are sitting, standing, whatever you guys are doing. All right. I understand that you have had a very interesting trip from Sparta to here. Hell, the last time I spoke with all of you, it feels like some time ago.
I have character remind me, when was the last time that we saw him?
Atlas.
I'd say it was just before the trial of that one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of that island, but yes, I think that was actually the last time, because that was the last time he had been present. Was when he gave Davos and Xanthus their charge to watch over you all.
That's right. So it was the island just after Palayeros.
Mm-hmm. You all have had a very eventful journey.
Putting it mildly.
There is a lot we have seen.
That is good. It expands your knowledge, allows you to be prepared for whatever might come.
Sometimes, though, I do worry as fast as we are going. These attacks, surely you've heard, or we can tell you now, but it seems like they're a step ahead of us every time.
That has been the way of it for millennia. Some things do not change. Apparently, this is one of them. And yes, we of the Fold and the Olympians are aware that the plague is making moves. This cult of Phobos is instigating events across the Hellenes, Sparta, Nemea.
Wine, it's an opiate.
Oh no!
Oh.
Let me see here. Hold on. Okay. I just wanted to get my notes again. All right, refresh. Yes, thank you, Martel. Tell them to refresh, just in case. But yeah, I noticed that everybody froze in one face, and I was like, they're being really still. And then I looked down
That's what
at
happened to me the other week.
and then I looked at the little bar, and it was at 0 kbps, and I was like, oh no. Fun. Okay. What did you hear last?
Corinthos.
Okay, so you did hear all up until that. Corinthos, Megara. All of these attacks have brought disturbances and chaos across all of the land. You know Sparta, obviously. You know Nemea. Megara makes sense because you were there. Corinthos, however,
What happened in Corinthos?
an outbreak.
Of plague.
Yes.
We were just there.
I'm aware.
And Phoebe's eyes go wide.
Apparently, there has been a member of the fragments that you have been hunting down. He placed a few key pieces in Corinthos. The city was saved. Mostly because the chimera that came from it left.
Can Themisto thinks about making this next statement because she's afraid it could doom someone that they tried so hard to save.
Mhm.
But given the news about the attack, she almost feels like she has no choice but to mention it. You know what?
Did it start in the Temple of Asclepius?
No. Some of the neighborhoods nearby.
Which ones?
I do not recall. I was not there. The Valiants came and cleaned up a little bit of the aftermath. Made sure there was no lingering poisons.
Aaron, how close did Phoebe live to the Temple of Asclepius?
We'll say the Temple of Asclepius is kind of not on Temple Boulevard necessarily, but most of the temples are kind of generally somewhat located close to each other. I don't know, like 15, 20-minute walk. But it would seem that this fragment who commands the Chimera has disappeared for the time being. I have spent the last few days here in Thebes, trying to seek out any pockets of this cult of Phobos. Whomever they might be. And in these last few days, I have seen nothing out of the ordinary. Thebes is a silly place. At least for me.
But not for Beldura Phobos.
You see, the word Phobos gets him to almost snarl. I saw nothing. Nothing that would give me any sort of indication that it or any of the other fragments were there.
Okay, let's try this a different way. I know whatever source feeds so many of these obelisks seems to stem from Thebes. Would that not be a tempting target?
Source that feeds the obelisk. You see him like start to try and remember, like he's like searching his mind.
Is there something like Atlas in Thebes?
No. No, the Atlas engines were never located around any population centers. Too dangerous. Why can I not remember?
Zeus and his
Lethe,
decree.
if it's something this important, you should ask Lethe to give it back to you.
If it was something important that she has hidden away, then there's probably a good reason for it to have been so. The fact that I cannot seem to remember these leads me to believe that there is indeed something there.
It would be worth the risk.
Can
Lethe,
information that has been taken from you like this, can it be reclaimed by Baldura? Or is it
No.
gone forever?
Lethe contains these secrets. She can undo the wipes done to our memory. But we cannot rematerialize these memories on our own.
Laertes is going to take out that card that he's been sort of wearing on that lanyard, which has not been invented in this world yet.
It's a necklace.
Yeah.
A ribbon
Come up
necklace.
He's
with a
holding
name for what
that.
that thing is.
He's holding that in one hand, and then he's looking at it, and it's not quite the right image, and he tries to conjure the correct one in the other hand. Like a
Sure.
trinket.
You're trying to conjure the image of what?
The first card that he saw, which he is kind of a weird kind of half
Oh.
memory at this point.
Because the card that's in your hand was just one of the playing cards, right?
No,
was
this
given to
was
you?
the one given to him by Hecate.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is that chime thing.
Yes.
It's the multi-pass that she
Yeah.
gave him.
You see his eyes widen when you pull that out.
Hmm.
And then he kind of rolls them a little bit and shakes his head. She meddles with things.
You all do. We all do.
Yes, but she's playing a very dangerous game. That would give you passage to a lot of places that probably would not be good for you to get to. Maybe it would be good for you to get to. I do not know anymore. As for, he points at the image, that
Mhm. I
Does it-
recognize it, and yet I don't.
so you too have had a memory taken from you.
That's what I'm guessing, yes.
Does this look familiar to any of you? He points around at everyone.
Make history checks.
It's a really high DC.
Not me.
Definitely not Themisto.
Am I making one, or am I just catalyzing this for everyone else?
You can if you want.
Okay.
Try it again.
For the record, I got a 4.
I got a
that's,
3.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, this is a what history check or
Yeah.
This is a dirty
Hey.
20.
Nice.
So it's like, I recognize Phoebe.
But I
I'm
can
thinking
reroll
about
that to
my
see if I can get
neighbors.
higher.
I have a 12.
Beautiful. Thank you, Amadeo, for the 16.
Nope, dirty 20 is where it stays.
Like you had said before, it's one of those you kind of remember it, but every time you grasp onto it, it slips further away. Whatever it is that you are trying to show me is probably of the same nature as the one that you carry there. A pass that would allow you and garner you entry into a lot of places that are otherwise forbidden for most mortals. The fact that you carry this and you go into Thebes could be of use, provided there is something there for you to find. Which, as you say, if this is where the cult of Phobos is heading, there must be some reason for it. I very much doubt that these creatures have any interest in the arts or other things that the primordial people will have there. It's a beautiful city, but
When we visited Lord Poseidon's temple, not far from here, one of the towns on the way, there was a something to it. It made us think of the spires near Mighty Atlas. He said there was something of a like a life force to it.
most of our it's just like he's trying to find words to use.
It's the same like Themisto, like historically Greek
Yeah.
concept of energy was not the same as us. So
Right. Well,
she's like,
That's why my word choice was something was feeding it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
this is kind of almost like whenever you heard or you'd ask him and he was trying to remember something and he was like searching for the memory. This is like he's searching for certain words and now he's trying to like navigate around those blocks.
Interesting. Okay.
Our towns and cities were fed life by something. A few somethings.
If it wasn't the Atlas, then what else could it be?
What is the name of giants?
Titan?
No. No, it was not Titan. Krios.
Deserve to know these things.
Krios? Make a history check.
All of us?
Sure.
16.
I am
Natural 20 for a 28.
Wow.
awesome.
Professor here doing the history check.
48.
Finally, that degree's coming in.
Yeah.
It was either that or go back to clown college.
12 for me. Hey, you could have joined Circe Soleil if you.
I don't think Laertes could.
No, you're probably right.
He'd be watching very animatedly from the front line going, oh, I can't do that. They're just stretching, I know.
Oh. You could be the man behind the box, like the Wizard of Oz. Making people float and
the word Krios speaks of a story of the Titans. One of the Titans. Mm-hmm.
How do you spell that?
Depends on version, but
Let's go with yours.
Krios.
Thank you.
They are involved in the story of there was 4 titans basically, and that they helped bind Uranus, and they were basically they were one of the sons of Gaia. But there was 4 of them, and they were key and elemental to a lot of creation and binding of the world.
Uranus.
Him and his brothers became the 4 pillars of the world that held the sky in place. Cryos was thought to be one of the southern pillars. Interestingly enough, he's also associated with the constellation Aries, which
That's cool.
rises in the south. But all that aside, he kind of just whispers the word, but it doesn't seem to have a meaning for him when he says it.
I'm going to start relaying what you told me to the group.
Okay.
Oh, but trying to direct it at Ares in the hopes of some aspect of the story jog something. And he's going to focus more on the elements of, because like with Atlas, it was all, what's the word I'm looking for? Not parody,
Allegorical?
allegorical. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Where there's some hidden mystified truth in there, that it's all like allegory, metaphor for some actual truth somewhere in it. And he's going to say the basic story once, and then he's going to try and start picking it apart, focusing on bits and pieces. What do they mean by pillar?
Important. The base of something. A important structure. Oh, my head hurts. I'm sorry.
I'll go back and
There-
find something. Sorry.
There's something of importance here. A structure.
Cyprus. If you gain the favor of the queens and thieves, do you think they may know of something like this? They'd be the most important people there. Maybe they know of some hidden structure.
Quite likely.
Cypress, make a history check for me while you're talking. Go for it.
9.
Beautiful.
Guidance.
Who?
One of
What
the,
queens?
What queens? There's queens?
One of the
I
Valiants had
really
mentioned.
like got distracted when
One of the Valiants had mentioned that Thieves was built on and around for some purpose. That it wasn't an accident, that it wasn't just because it was pretty. There was reason and design. Was something
I know that this is true.
built there, or was something buried there?
Yes. Yes. Something was built there. On the foundation of the world. A pillar. 4 pillars. They powered the world. He looks over at Astrid. There are reasons that Lethe takes some of these things from us. Do not blame her for it. If they were taking it was because
Safer not to know. That's why we can't find Apollo.
we cannot find him because he does not wish to be found.
Because it's safer not to know.
There were few of us that are left that were there when the world fell apart. And those of us that were had certain truths hidden from us. Even Zeus does not know these things anymore. This is why it is the burden of so few.
Do you think, Lord Ares, do you think Lethe has done it to herself?
If she has, then this information may never be found unless you find it for yourself. Which you might have to do. But I can try and implore her in these special times.
The world is changing. It is getting more dangerous. And people are dying. It's time that these things be released so that we all can do our jobs.
Perhaps you are right, Astrid. But the world has always been this dangerous. You just did not know it. It was the burden carried by all of the gods across the world. All of us who have endured for the past millennia or more. We have had to play shepherd, to play parent, to play gods. To our children's children's children. Knowing just how much on the precipice they all lived. But seeing how they flourished. And seeing how they were able to vanquish all on their own now. We are in uncertain times. But in a very certain history.
And we not let fear dictate our lives and repeat that history, yes?
So wise for an infant.
Hmm.
You truly are one of the Astrals. You see the workings of the world. You have seen the workings of the world. All of you have seen a measure of it.
Now you have others to share the burden with.
And still more. Hecate is currently tending to a few new students. But she has been keeping tabs on you. She is the one who pointed me to this place that I might find you and your guide.
She's not been the only one pointing people to us.
Oh,
Hera has been meddling.
How so?
I ran into my ex-husband tonight because of her.
Because of her.
Because of her. She sent him here. And she's been invading my dreams. I don't like her very much. But she was able to help answer a question I've had for a very long time.
If it wasn't for her, none of us would be here now. You do realize
What did she
that?
do back when the world was young?
She guided us here. It was her and Gaia that found homes for our people. It was by her talents that I stand before you. Did you know that I died once?
Can't say I've ever heard that story.
No, because it is not one that is told. When the world ended, our world ended. And the floods came, and they claimed billions of our family. I watched my son die. The only thing I ever loved left in this world. I watched him sink beneath the waves as the building crumbled around him and dragged him to the bottom of the abyss. And I tried to save him. And I died. It was by Hera and Poseidon that they brought me back to life. She has saved more lives than have ever existed on this planet, and that perhaps may ever exist on this planet. She is the one who brought me into this world 5 worlds ago. Be careful the way you speak of the one that you owe your life to. Because by my understanding, it was by her will that your baby, Phoebe, was brought to the temple in Corinthos. It was by her that she had found you floating amongst the wreckage in the sea. Because she loves you. Maybe she loved you. I do not know.
You differ with her, though, enough to start this with Hecate and to recruit us into this.
Because I have seen things. And she also differs against Zeus. She may not be able to freely join the fold as of now, but she works to try and keep all of us alive. Do me a favor. If you find the creature named Phobos, do not hesitate to put it to death.
To that end, what is it that we can do in Thebes? You come to us and to give us something, and this has been a good talk, but what did you originally come here to say?
That you must watch your backs. Once you have reached Thebes, you must find whatever it is that the fragments are after, and either destroy it or destroy them. If indeed Phobos is there, we will be watching. But you must do what you can. Whatever it tells you, it is not a child of mine. I have had a very long few days with no sleep. I think it is time for me to rest and prepare for whatever war is coming. The Fold is going to have to survive a lot. Please take care of yourselves. Do not take anything for granted. I will be in Thespiae for the next day or two, trying to keep an eye ever distant on the situation. But you know how to reach me, Themisto.
When it is time, if I am standing, I will give you the signal.
I have reached an understanding with Athena and the Valiants as well. We have a few friends that are standing by that have been alerted to the possibility of a Belduran invasion.
Is there any word on how Xanthus is doing?
No. They merely informed me that he has reached the house of Asclepius. And that he is under observation for now.
Well, the army is in good hands.
I hope that we all live to see his recovery.
Have you ever seen a ghost before?
That depends. We'll say yes.
We were in... there is a base with on the island that Athlis was located. A Centauri woman who stayed with the obelisk there. Her name was Risun Rhea. It's like she lives inside of the island itself.
Did you come in contact with Cleoside?
We did.
And you are an astral, yes?
Yes. But we all saw her.
Are you sure?
She made my hands move of her design, not mine.
She was scared. Like, what was happening was the past. Was the moments of before her death. Stuck in the loop of some kind. How does something like that happen?
I cannot begin to pretend to know. Our people are not from this place. It was theorized by Hades that upon our passing, depending on the Orphic, the energy remains. The power that they possessed remains. But if that was the case, I feel that there would have been many, many more ghosts since the end of that world. But that sounds like something you would have to ask Hades. Rhys and Rhea, huh? She was a curious one. Her people were all over. I do remember the colony there. It was very beautiful, once upon a time. He's gonna look over to Phoebe. I meant no disrespect to you or to your family.
And nothing but silence my entire life. What was I to expect? And now I feel like I'm being constantly reprimanded for not understanding. How did she expect me to feel? Years I prayed to her. Nothing.
Prayer is a strange and particular thing. We are only just beginning to understand it within these last few hundred years. Perhaps something that is something that you should ask one day. But clearly now is not the time. I will speak to Hecate. He looks over at Laertes. So that she might impart with you a test. She is going to be far too busy to come and speak to a child.
You mean for me to do it?
I don't see why not. Ye who can sense the plague and many other miraculous and probably very stupid things. You are bound full of surprises. From what I understand, it's not that hard. It's just something beyond my grasp.
Do what I can.
I'm sure you will be marvelous at it. Besides, how much different could it be than administering a test to one of your students? That is a very difficult word to say.
Well, usually none of my students are blowing anything up in the process, but...
But you have.
Yes, and everyone was so ecstatic over that outcome.
I am going to go and get some sleep. I suggest you all do the same.
was good talking with you.
We will be speaking much more, I'm sure, provided we live the next few days.
And if not, they will tell stories of us and our imminent and very sad deaths. Hopefully.
I'm sure they will come up with something very creative. They have so far.
Good night, Ares.
Good night. He stands up, slips his feet into his sandals, doesn't bother lacing them. Mostly because after a moment they kind of just start to like wrap themselves around his feet. Odello, thank you for the wine. The next time Ilium business brings me to Thespiae, I will make sure to stop by and give my respects to the owners of the establishment. He goes up to the door, both of them, and walks out. Cypress.
Cypress will, if he wasn't next to Phoebe already, will walk up next to her. Just to say it, Phoebe, I very much am on your side. I find it endlessly frustrating with these gods that we are every so often scolded like fools when we are also told so frequently that it is so far beyond us. I'm sure in many ways they are right, and I'm sure we have many things to be grateful to them for, but it does make at least me a bit resentful. I, of course, asked for glory, and that is one of the reasons I'm doing this, and of course I care for our whole cause. It is very important, and the gods are a vital ally and leader of this whole thing. But Ares said, play the gods, play the shepherd, as if it is a role that he's loath to take, and I can't help but think at times they really enjoy playing this role. Sorry that you were scolded like that.
I'm tired of being punished for not being able to study for a test I didn't know I was taking.
I agree.
But now I have more important things to worry about. Themisto, you met Dorothea. Do you think you can see if she's all right?
Yes, I can try. In a
Thank
few
you.
ways. Would you like me to try to ask her? It could shock her.
She speaks to Hera. Hearing back, I don't know. Apparently she talks to everyone but me.
And I will give it a try right now, huh?
Thank you. If tell her I hope she's safe. I'm sorry we couldn't stay for her stew. I'm sure it was very delicious.
Yes. So I will ask these things. This too. That is an interesting idea. How do I contact someone who is not one of us?
You tried it
didn't
once
work
before.
so good the last time, though.
I think someone was directly involved in not letting that message get through last time.
Okay. So, are there any leftover bowls of dinner sitting around?
You're muted, buddy.
You're muted.
I can't hear the gods right now. What's
Dang it.
happening?
No, but you
Leafy
can.
has taken away his ability to speak.
Oh no.
No, but there would not be hard to procure.
Okay.
Could buy one.
Yeah, Themister will go up to
Freaking out.
Just Odell at the bars going, don't make me tap the sign.
to the bar and ask for a bowl of soup.
Very quickly provided.
Thank you. How many drachmi?
Do not worry about it. I'll put it on Amadeus' tab.
And he in turn will put it on the tab of the Kings of Sparta. This is good.
Kings of Sparta. That's a new one. She just walked away.
Didn't he say? And Cypress turns to the rest of the group. Didn't Amadeus say that this is like his place? Yet he's got a tab.
I think they call it child support.
Mm,
No.
Themister's gonna sit back
he's funding
down
her pirate ship.
with the soup. And she'll take out her normal ritual bay and honey and crumble it into the soup. And then, like with Matthias, she'll look at Phoebe as well. She's a connective point between her and Dorothea and all of that. And she will cast Ascending.
Sweet.
And she isn't gonna bother introducing herself because she's got a message to get across. So she will say, Dorothea, Phoebe worries for you. Are you alright? Heard of big trouble in Corinthos? Sorry we couldn't stay for soup. We hope you are well. And I used all the words. This
Good job. I could have sworn you were going to say Big Trouble, Little Corinthos.
I know. I got too close.
It got
That
real
has to be
close.
one of our. That has to be one of the one shots we do in the post.
Oh, I love that.
Perfect.
You hear a little voice. You hear a voice.
Little Corinthos.
Yeah. She lives. Oh, she lives. That makes my heart feel so much better. Worry not. Soup is easy to make. I am fine. The city smolders, but we will rebuild. Tell her I think that was most of the words.
Aw.
Oh,
Themisto will grab Phoebe's hands and say, she is okay. It sounds like the city is in a bit of trouble, but it's past. We are invited back for soup.
We should go at some point. If you want.
That would be nice. And there is someone else there I feel like I need to try to reach out to. Though I'm not sure again if this shall work. Laertes and Astrid, you both helped quite a lot with trying to keep her healthy. In fact, can all of us together take hands, please?
Should we
Do a
try
little seance to try to reach out to Callisto.
Ooh.
I'm gonna pull a Kindred and
Seance
do a
is such a
few
very
back-to-back sendings.
Could I assist in this since I may be able to find her and like communicate that to the Misto? Psychically,
interesting.
Graham, you
something
might be
I-
muted because I saw your lips moving but did not hear anything.
I didn't even remember what I said. I was
There we go.
multitasking.
God damn you.
I
That's
think
beautiful.
the thing that binds us to her that will help me to reach out to her, she says as they're all holding hands, is the struggle we are in, the enemy we face. She has survived it as we have survived it. So, thank you. And then she'll pause a moment just in case anyone wants to do or say anything before she begins.
And Astrid, yes, you can
Okay,
if you want.
then she'll use one of those. Yeah, okay. It is a 21.
Oh, okay. There was like you said before, there is the connection that both Astrid and Laertes did to help Callisto overcome her condition. And so there is a certain tie that you have, Astrid, that you close your eyes, and just like you had done before when you're trying to sense particular people, especially those that you are somewhat familiar with, your mind kind of like hones in on the direction, and while Astrid is sitting there in her chair, you see her head kind of just with her eyes closed as she like looks over her shoulder and like stares at with eyes closed, looks in the direction of one of the walls, right? Just like she's looking at something that's not there, like a cat whenever it sees a ghost or whatever, just
Yeah.
kind of like turns in that direction. You're like, what are you looking at? You kind of relay that to Themisto, just in the
She
Go
puts her
ahead.
thumb on Themisto's forehead, right where her third eye is at. Like that. I guess.
Like,
Maybe like that.
like I was like
Ushers
this.
Rhino takes a hand still holding Phoebe's hand next to her and like sweeps away the snake that was in the way so that Astrid can do that.
And when she touches your forehead, a runic eye will appear as she tries to give you that sense of direction for Callisto. Yeah.
All right. Sendings are not like scryings. I don't think there's rolls involved. So
That's right. I just send it.
you just send it. But we'll say for the flavor of this, that with this little thing, when you had done this with Dorothea, it was like you just felt the presence of the person in the mind. You kind of just immediately touched. But there, with this, where you get a little extra sensory thing. So go ahead and say what you were gonna say.
Okay. Callisto, and Themisto is speaking out loud to the group as well. Themisto here with the snakes. Tragedy befalls Corinthos. Does it come for you? Are you awake? Are you safe? Does this evil touch you still? And I'm going to you can answer if you need. Hope you're well.
Nice. Themisto? I live and breathe thanks to you and your friends. I heard the screams in Corinth. I could feel the call of the dark. That's it. That's all that she says.
Maybe she's gonna be like sort of Grey Warden energy, or she like drinks Darkspawn blood and gets some powers, but isn't totally evil. So, okay.
Yes.
She is alive. She responds to me. The plague is not totally gone from her. She felt it pull upon her when these things attacked. I don't know more. I wrote a letter to the Pythia. I asked her to send some sisters to watch over her, or perhaps to bring her to Delphi. So I wasn't sure whether to tell Eris. Her voice gets a little quieter as she lets go of her hands. She thinks about what the Valiant's mission is, and, you know,
Yeah. Ooh.
that's in her eyes as she says that last statement.
Where did it show that she was at?
You. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Astrid.
Sure.
With those words, a dark room lit by an oil lamp. You see her in your mind's eye curled up in the corner of the wall. Or corner of the walls. Like there's like corners that she's sitting in. There's like the bed that's across from her. And then there's like an open window that stares out at the starlight beyond.
Is there any iconography that I notice in the room, or is it too dark?
I would say that it kind of gives you the vibe of like just a really stark room.
Okay. There is a room. It is dark, lit by a single oil lamp. It is very plain. She can see the stars, but she doesn't look at them so much. She's been through quite a lot.
Sounds just a bit alarming, the way that she spoke. That the darkness calls to her. She didn't say she was refuting it. And she stood in the corner of the room, so then...
I think she is going to need to be looked after and have someone to guide her through these. Whatever this is. So.
You hear the rain start to fall on the roof. And almost like immediately as you start to hear it, the door opens. And you see a very wet Mog and Mikos walk into the room, like Mog's just like shaking the rainwater off of them. Then like immediately looks over at you like,
He went
Almost-
upstairs.
Almost avoided the showers.
Yeah. They shake their head and like the bangs that kind of cover almost part of their eyes like flips out of the way. Mikos just keeps striding up the stairs. Captain's upstairs, you said?
He scurried up there as soon as he saw Dello.
Yeah, I can imagine. They
What's the story there?
do the slow head turn towards Odello, who's on the other side of the
I
tavern.
mean, I'll just go ask Dello.
They shrug. Odello's part of the old crew. Last captain. It was a little bit of Tant's bad blood.
Oh, you could cut the tension with a knife. Not even a sharp one.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't say that. I wasn't in the room for any of that. Take that all back.
You could tell anyway.
But you I will say you have seen the interactions before all of this, before Odello was there, where he was like, "Oh, sounds like I got to be somewhere else," like all that kind of stuff. So, you're all good. Okay. All right. Well, as we then settle in for whatever remains of the evening, as you guys warm up with some soup, some more soup. I don't know, whatever you're doing. Yeah,
May as well drink the ritual soup.
yeah, ritual soup.
It's over now.
Why does it say freshly imported from Sparta?
Oh no,
I hope it's not all the way from there. I don't know how they preserved it.
Sparta Boyardee.
We hired this new cook. Her name is Minea.
Oh no.
So she came from the south.
Phoebe's gonna go ahead and head upstairs right after the conversations end.
Good night, Phoebe.
Good night.
I'm glad you got the closure that you needed.
She'll pause on the stairs. You say that, but not say anything else.
I suppose that they say good night for me too then. The mister will get up.
Can stay if you want to.
No. I want to go with you.
All right, you guys go upstairs. Ashford, Cypress, Laertes, you stare in the fire for a little bit. Amadeo sneaks out of the window. Or what?
I was gonna say, does he sneak into somebody's room?
That was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
No, no,
He
no, no,
already
no,
did,
no.
but-
It's sneaking out of the room.
It was a
That's
long
right.
conversation.
It's the sneak of shame.
The sneak of shame.
Amadeo, shame. He'll kick
yeah,
open
that's
that
not in his
door.
Who
vocabulary.
said it was his shame?
Good point.
Beautiful. All
I
right.
see him in the hallway as we're walking up the stairs.
He's just like, hey.
Alrighty. Well, we will be right back. We're going to go to the break really fast. Go potties, and then we'll be right back. So don't go nowhere. Okay, we'll see you in a second. Bye.
drop the IMDb into the group chat.
Okay. Huzzah! Here we are.
Oh, you know how he looks like? Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit too.
A little bit, yeah.
Alrighty, let's see here. We are. We'll do this. Amadeo,
Hello.
what are you doing? After you get done upstairs.
After what you're doing.
Yeah. So Amadeo does have one more social call to make.
Mhm.
So he is going to try to sneak out.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to catch anyone's attention that he doesn't want to talk to.
for reasons.
So everybody then?
Let's see how well he does. Hold on. It's kind of funny because for a rogue, his stealth is atrocious.
He's a rogue.
Yep. Hey, 15.
Nice. Yeah, you can sneak out to the kitchen.
So he sneaks out through the kitchen. He's got the shield. And something else as well.
Okay.
Something that he purchased in Argos.
Oh, wait, it's not raining yet. When you sneak out, it's not raining.
Okay.
But you can tell, we'll say that by the time you get outside, the winds feel cool and that smell of fresh rain is in the air, so you know it's probably not too long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's going to sneak over to the house next door.
Okay. Definitely. Okay.
Knock, knock, knock.
You knock on the door. It's a couple of thudding steps, and then eventually the door opens, and Argon is there. I was beginning to think that you weren't coming.
The captain always keeps his promises. Unless he is lying.
Unless he is lying.
Well, send him out.
You want to come in, or should he? Okay. He goes back inside. He leaves the door kind of partially open. And you hear the... Boy, wake up! Captain wants to see you. It's like you wait a minute or two. You hear the soft padding of feet. The door opens, and a about 15-year-old human boy walks out, rubbing sleep from his eyes. Captain? Captain. He comes over and he gives you a hug.
Hello, Lucio. Let's go for a walk.
A walk? What time is it?
I don't know.
Okay. Let me get my sandals. He goes and gets his hand, goes back inside, comes back out a second later. Where have you been? Weren't you supposed to be back before the winter or something?
Yeah. You know, dates get all mixed up when you're at sea.
Yeah, I guess they do, huh? Did you, what kept you away? Any interesting stories that I should know about?
A few, yes. We had a little run-in with another pirate crew. We had a little run-in with a sea monster. We had a little
Sea
run-in
monster?
with a horrible, horrible storm.
Wow. But you're back and you're safe. Is the ship still here? Did you come on the ship?
No, we won't. Unfortunately, this ship is
On land?
being repaired on land. Yes, you can do that still when you're a pirate.
I don't know. I feel like the pirate and the ship are kind of these go together,
Well,
like Greek and Amphoras.
I suppose. But when the ship doesn't sail, you have to make do, yes?
Yes, I suppose you're right. I'm excited.
Before we begin, I
What?
want to check something.
Okay.
He's going to pull out his deck of cards.
Oh, I like these.
I don't.
Why not?
You'll see. He starts, doing his little magic tricks. His heart's not really in it because he knows that this part is all bullshit. But I rolled a 24 on the deception check, so that's probably not showing.
Yeah.
Does a last little shuffle. The cards disappear. But out of his sleeve, he pulls the first one. It's a picture of a boy in a cradle, sleeping, completely oblivious to the world around him. Amadeo hands Lucio the card.
A baby?
We all have to start somewhere. Pulls the second card. This one's a bird. And I'm not going to make up the bird because that got me in trouble last time. The bird is in a nest, but it's sort of like trying to peek out. Looking at the ground below. And you might get the impression that it's about to leave the nest. He hands Lucio the card.
A baby and a bird? This is a very confusing reading.
If only you knew. He pulls the last card. It depicts a flaming sword. Two hands grasping it at the bottom. The one at the top, clawed and blue. The one at the bottom, has a more Greek skin tone. Amadeo studies it. And then he looks at Lucio. He hands him the card. You are still set on your course? You wish to go out to sea?
Yeah. As soon as you have another spot available on the ship. Argon said that he thinks I'm almost ready. I've been practicing every day. He's taught me how to wield a sword. He's taught me how to tie knots in rope, how to rig sails. My eyes closed, basically. He has me climbing all over Thespiae all the time while he sits around in the chariot. And I've been keeping a log of all the ships that come and go from the harbors, like he said, so that I get used to the different types of ship and where they are from and what they are made of and what they carry and all of these things.
It doesn't have to be this way, you know. There are other things you could do.
But I want to be like my father was. A great sailor. And a good pirate. I want to
A good pirate.
I want to make him proud of me.
I think he already is. But I don't think that me saying that will sway you in any way.
No, probably not. Although I might need your help telling Amalene that that I'm not going to be part of her crew just yet.
She is not going to have a crew. Not if I have anything to say about it.
I don't know. You should have heard her these last few months. She has named all of her dolls different positions in the ship. She practices boarding from one piece of furniture to the other. I'm pretty sure she's broken a few chairs already. And, well, she's started a fire or two also, I think.
So much like her mother.
I am not going to say that ever in her presence.
Smart boy.
I know when to keep my mouth shut. You taught me that.
Lucio, I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you.
Why?
I'm going to have to take everyone away from here. I think there is danger coming. You have a different path. You want to be a pirate? You want to sail the seas, become a legend?
Yes.
You don't do that by joining a crew, Lucio. You do that by making your own.
Oh.
Amadeo takes the shield from his back. He hands it over. This belonged to a warrior who was dedicated to the gods. And this, he pulls a short sword. A weapon from Argos.
You went to
Fine craftsman in
Argos?
Argos. I did. You could go. That may not be a bad place to start.
You think I can find a crew in Argos?
I think you will find people wherever you go. That is the way.
But I thought you were going to teach me.
That's what I'm doing right now. You will
Oh.
understand someday.
Well, I will understand when you tell me I understand.
Need to think a little bit more for yourself if you're going to make it out there.
Okay. think for myself. Oh,
Maybe take the old man with you. He would be quite worried if you disappear on him. He wouldn't be a bad first mate, at least to start. Though he'll get old very soon. Too old.
he's already very old. But don't tell him I said that.
Know when to keep your mouth shut.
Okay.
One more thing. He takes the hat. He looks at it. Puts it on Lucio's head.
I don't understand. Why are you giving me your hat now?
Because someday you're going to give it back to me. When you can look me in the eye and say that we are equals. Do you understand?
I think so.
Good.
So, I need to go to Argos. I'm going to find myself a crew. And get myself a ship.
Those are all good starting points.
And then we can sail together?
Eventually. Remember, once you can look me in the eye and say we are equals.
Okay. Look you in the eye and say we are equals. I can do that.
It's not
How?
easy out there, Lucio.
Well, you already defeated one of the sea monsters, so I guess I have to go defeat another one.
Maybe don't start with that.
You said I had to have big goals.
I did. Also have incremental goals. That is important too.
I guess. When do I start? Wait, you said there's danger coming?
There is. From Thebes.
He looks across the bay towards Thebes. When will the trouble get here?
I'm not sure. I plan on being long gone before it does.
Okay. Okay. Then he looks down at the shield and the short sword. So this is it?
For now. You're starting with more than some did. I did not know how to sail when I set out to sea.
I know how to do that. Sounds like I'm already ahead of the game. I'll probably be a couple of moons and then I'll be able to look you in the eye.
Don't get cocky.
Okay. Thank you, Captain.
Amadeo holds out his hand.
They clasp it.
Remember everything you learned here. Not just about sailing.
He looks up at the sky as it starts to thunder, and you can feel the couple of like drops. Okay. It's a cleansing storm. Comes from the sea. He like licks his finger and sticks it up into the air. The wind's blowing northwest. And he like starts to like rattle off some other more nautical-y sounding details that, you know, for a 15-year-old, not bad. Your heart kind of starts to beat a little faster. You had hoped that maybe, just maybe this time, the cards would show something different. They didn't. He gives you one more hug before he uses the shield like a kind of partial umbrella and then starts running back towards the house as the rain starts to get heavier. You know what this means, that the next time you see him, it may not go so well.
That is how fate works, I suppose. I did not mean to become a tragedy, but we do not always get to choose these things.
You look back towards the house. The couple of candles from the windows upstairs. You think of your conversation earlier with Laertes. You think of hearing them speak to Ares, which, under most circumstances, you'd be like, oh, it's just another guy by that name. But you know these guys. And the people that seem to float around them. So you kind of glad that you avoided that conversation. You can't help but wonder, despite it all, what that might mean for Amalene. But first, you have to get everybody to Thebes. And then get everybody out of Thespiae. First things first. Intermediary goals. You stay outside for a bit?
Yeah,
Okay.
thinking about life and death.
Yeah. As everyone settles in for sleepies, everyone's got their own little room. Well, most have their own little room. Some share. Laertes. You have a very peculiar dream. Sometimes these dreams pop in out of nowhere. Sometimes they seem, oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily like related to the day's events, but you know, in that sense of the way dreams are. Sometimes you can tell, oh, this is why, because I saw this earlier, and that's why there's a fish head on, you know, so-and-so, and the Astrid walks on 4 legs, and, you know, all those weird things that you'll sometimes see in a dream. Except that maybe the Astrid on 4 legs is something you have actually seen. Except that might be actually something you have seen.
Something I've written.
But you see in this instance the theater troupe from earlier. A circus, if you will. You see this show with all of its acrobats and all of its performers, both singing and otherwise. But you, for whatever reason, envision them manipulating the elements. The one who comes out and like breathes the fire out after swallowing the bottle of vinegar wine. And spews it out. The fire goes out across the stage, but then as the fire goes out, it stays like frozen in the air, making like this cloud of burning bright light that then starts to move and becomes this like flying serpentine creature that just kind of like roils and rolls around the stage. You see the elements of the stage itself begin to shift and move as though being manipulated in ways that you have done with things before. You manipulate these mass objects to move across the stage. And it's like this whole show, and you realize you are the sole person that is like visualizing this, like as if you're the only one seated in the amphitheater. And this whole show's going on. You see the chairs ripple and make like a wave as they like undulate and move, and then like fold in on themselves to become flat grassland. All the world becomes this play that only you can see. And then you start to feel the pitter-patter of wetness on your face. It's like it's starting to rain. And you can, in your dream, you're hearing like the rain from the roof that you could hear earlier when you were falling asleep. And you're like, this makes sense. But then the rain starts to pool. It pools around your head in a strange sort of way. And then it like starts to slowly just move the water on your face. And you like rub at it and it just like doesn't go away. And then you can feel the water start to slowly go higher and higher, and it goes into your mouth. And then you realize that it's like caught in this like a bubble around your head. And you start to like try and change the way the dream is going. But the water keeps rising, and then now up to your nose, and you're trying to hold your breath, and the water keeps going up past your eyes, and you feel like you're in this underwater bubble that you rub your hands through, but you can't move the water away. And then your body starts to seize as you cannot breathe. And you feel the air rushing out and the water rushing in. And you wake. And you wake to find that you are submerged underwater in the dark of your room. And you hear in the inside somewhere, you hear a thud. And like it's muffled because you're underwater. You hear a thud and a crack, and you see the oil lantern that was kind of sitting in the corner topple over and fall to the ground. The fire starting to like catch along the oil, and you roll over off the bed and still trying to move the water somehow. Just whenever you feel like you're on that verge of like that panic starts to set in, just as it's starting to set in, the water falls from around your face. And you're able to take in your first deep breath of air as you're spitting up water. You look over, the water that has fallen onto the floor around you goes over, and you hear footsteps that are coming around you as like a blanket is pulled from your bed and thrown over the fire, trying to stamp it out as quick as possible. Your eyes start to clear. You look over, and on the other side of the small room, you see Mikos sitting up against the wall. with a blade stuck into his chest. And as your eyes kind of focus and clear, you see Mog standing there, hands trembling. She looks over. They look over very slowly over at you. Are you all right?
He spends a few seconds coughing up the Aegean. What happened?
He was gonna kill you. They kneel down to Mikos's body, and you see the blade handle, and there's like this change on her face as the emotions are like roiling back and forth, like from like panic to angry to petrified, scared, to back to angry again. And in the anger, they take the dagger and they twist it, and then yank it out. And you see this black, it's like a curved blade that looks like almost like it's made out of black obsidian or black stone that's been chipped, like almost like an arrowhead, but it's just this black dagger. And you can see that there's a wound in Mikos's chest that looks like black stone that is slowly starting to creep across his body. I am Mog, Slayer of Zala, Splitter of Skulls. And I am no longer part of the Ebony Blade. She throws it down to the ground. They look over at you. Looks over at the stamped out, I'll say carpet. The stamped out blanket has a little bit of steam and smolder. You look over and you can see that the window that was kind of close to the door, to your bed, is now open, and that like the area around it is wet. So like the water had been pulled from outside. I'm sorry that you had to see that.
I'm just trying to get them to come over to me.
They like take a couple of steps and then fall to their knees next to you.
I'm just very tentatively touching their shoulders. If he was going to kill me on behalf of the Blade, why did you stop them?
Because I wouldn't kill you myself. We got a message today that Mikos got a message today that I should be tested so that I could be an official member. And they found out we'd been traveling with someone who had been given a warning. So it seemed like an easy target. But I don't think. Don't get me wrong, you're dangerous. But not for the reasons that they said you were.
What did they tell you?
That people like you would use the old stuff for bad things. But you would cause another fall to happen. And then when he told them about your little crystal ball thing, and with all the stuff that we've been seeing as we've been traveling, kind of follows you. But I don't think it's following you as much as you were following it. So it's not the same thing. They swallow nervously. Looks over at Mikos again. You can see that black is starting to spread. It's like covers most of his chest now.
It's not lost on me the visual nature of a black spreading substance. And there's a part of me that's going, I need to catalog that immediately and deal with it. But at the same time, I got to deal with this.
There's a very distinct difference in the fact that this doesn't look like tar or any sort of like
Crystalline.
Yeah, this looks more like just black stone, ebony black stone that is like starting to become his body.
Have I ever seen anything like that before or heard of it?
No. Make a history check.
Does a 17 help me?
Your mind kind of goes back to one of your first experiences with a fragment on an island years ago, it feels like. Where it seemed like villagers had been frozen and turned to stone. That seemed it seems different in process to this, but it seems also somehow similar. I'm gonna have to leave the crew. Amadeo's gonna flip out.
I think you need to tell Amadeo what both of you were here for and what you did and why you did it.
They swallow nervously again and just kind of nod as they're watching Mikos' body become consumed in black stone. Becoming petrified, if you will.
I think you would agree that Amadeo has his own checkered past.
That's an understatement.
So if anyone would understand the path that brought you here and the choices that you're making,
Okay.
I don't think he lives in a world of white and black.
There's a very
Just a sea of
slow,
gray.
just a very slow shake of the head. Okay. You can hear there's like outside in the hallway, you can hear a door like open and close.
Yeah, I'm
We're gonna
assuming there's gonna have to start being some noise because there was a tsunami that happened in this room. And but seeing how I think it's an understatement to say crestfallen that Mog is.
yeah.
And what they just did for me, despite the things that maybe they were taught, the things that they up till now wanted. And they're shaken. I do the only kindness I can do in that moment for a person who's just done a kindness for me. I just bring them in.
There's like a little resistance at first and then nothing, and it's just like their face gets like pressed up against your shoulder, and it's just like there's this strangeness of like tension, and then not like super tense, it's just like I don't know what to do, and then the shaking starts, and it's not like a sob, it's not a cry, it's just like pent up emotion that is kind of just being released at the same time.
So I'll hold on to them and I'll pay attention to the door because I feel like I'm going to have to de-escalate whatever storms through. What else storms through?
You honestly, you'll just hear a knock on the door because you look around. It's not like there's a lot of water. It was just enough water to basically bubble around your head.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a ton of water. It was just enough water pooled from outside. So it's like someone's threw a bowl of water on the floor. There's like water, but you can already see it starting to seep into the wood, kind of thing. It was more the crash and the stamping out and that kind of thing. There's a knock on the door as Mineko is like, "Are you all right in there?"
Get Amadeo. Get my friends.
They just nod and get up. They go over to the door and open it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm saying that to the person on the other side of the door.
Oh. Okay. Within the next minute, people have been roused from their beds. And now the entirety of the petrified form of Mikos is like propped up against the wall where he had been slumped, and you can see the little bit of red that like streaks down the wall from where his body had slid down to its spot where it's at now.
Can I take a minute to do something?
Sure.
I'm just going to giving Mog a moment anyways, and just I'm going to lean them back. Just stay there. And I'm going to get up probably after a couple attempts. Stagger over to the body that is it fully turned or is it still
it's
creaking?
By this point it's fully turned. It only takes like a minute.
Okay. I think back to what I saw on the beach. I think back to Callisto, Xanthus, and how I feel like I've been doing something wrong as I think back to the fragment in Sparta. All these attempts are brute force and elegant because I don't have the means, the tools, regardless of wealth and depth of understanding. I still don't know what to do. There's a part of me that takes comfort in the fact that for the last 1,000 years, none there's anyone else. But there's an adage of, if one can do it, I can do it. And if no one can do it, I must. Knowing what this person looked like before was a tool or a piece of the puzzle I did not have in any other time. I'm not going to do vortex warp. I'm going to do something far more simple as I think back to very elementary teaching, learning. One of my first real conversations with Astrid when we were fixing a boat. And how I've considered trying to correct Beldura, like unstirring the ink from water. And I try and hold my hand out over this stone and try to do an extreme version of mending, as I just want to try and untwist what was done. I have no expectation that this even can work, because I feel like if anybody could do it, it'd be like greater restoration. This is just me attempting something I can't do.
I'm trying to remember what it is that I think it's greater restoration that takes away petrification. I want to say.
Which thing?
I think it's
Is it-
greater restoration.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything that can do that. He's
Yeah,
he just
If it isn't
throws
that, then
science
it's
at the wall.
very high level.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Because I think
too.
lesser
I have it in
does
my
the
current cleric kit.
lesser does the lesser restoration does poisons and like
It can take away paralyzation. But it
Paralyzation.
doesn't take away petrification. And that's the natural evolution. Even unlike the Misto's petrification power set, starts as paralyzation, moves up to petrification. So it's probably greater restoration that could remove it.
Would dispel magic?
if it had happened maybe during the
While it was still ongoing.
while it's still ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ongoing, yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it's a it's a stone statue right now.
Well, worth a thought.
Yeah. I will say that as you're doing this, there is you're trying to, right? You're trying to use this and we'll say they could even in a sense give you the ideas for this for later on or whatever, but you realize that there is this transformation is so complete and total that it's just it would require, it feels
It's inert
to you
mass, not
Yeah.
a person.
correct, it feels to you like a transmutation problem
Mhm.
at this point.
Yeah. That's what I expected. Just thought I would try.
Yeah. But with everybody gathered, they're now to check on you and everything else that's going on. You see Mog kind of coming. They come up to Amadeo and they start whispering in Amadeo's ear. She tells you, Amadeo, or they tell you, "I'm sorry, Captain, and I understand if you're going to need to make disciplinary actions, but Mikos was going to endanger our goal. And I didn't agree with how he was going to go about some work that we were supposed to do, me and him. So I tried to think, what would Amadeo do in a situation like this? And sorry.
You have put me in a position, Maug.
Yeah.
You said you had orders, that's something that you were supposed to do? I didn't tell you to try to kill Laertes. Did I? No.
She's no.
Did you?
Yeah. No. No.
You saw the sword, sorry.
Check schedule.
Check schedule. Was that today?
To-do list. I know I will tomorrow, but it's...
We were part of another group,
What was this group?
the Ebony Blades. Remember that one time when we were fighting the things underwater?
Mm-hmm.
And I accidentally said it out loud, and I wasn't supposed to then. And I turned that pirate fish into shark food. I've kind of been training to become a member of this group that I thought I wanted to be a part of. And I realized after walking with you and everybody else that I didn't. We're pirates, but I feel like we're not those kind of pirates. Not always.
Not always. You have to have some kind of principle, though. You were loyal to another master. You killed someone who said they were a member of my crew.
Would it help if I told you that they were planning to do the same to you at some point?
I knew it. It's too early for this.
And that's when you see Laertes sort of lean in the frame, like, really?
Margetta, clean up this mess. Mao, come with me.
They nod. Margetta like ambles into the room, just goes, "Ugh, stupid idiot." Starts to try and move the stone statue. It's like tilting it up and around. By this point, Mineko, seeing this, has already called up Mozelos, and he's also helping move the marble statue that was formerly known as Miko's.
Be careful, he has a bad back.
Yeah, Marcus is like, yeah, so do I. Mog hesitates at the doorway, looks back at Laertes, and just nods. Then follows Amadeo out.
We're going to walk out into the rain to the dock. We're going to stand looking out at the ocean. Just kind of stare for a couple of minutes. It is too early for me to ask this of you, but you have forced my hand. You have done the right thing, I think.
Oh, yeah?
The crew is not supposed to endanger the rest of the crew. You remember? What were the things that I said when you joined?
That was
You take-
definitely one of them.
Mikos has endangered the mission. Apparently, he was going to try to kill me. I suppose you were going to help him, but you decided not to.
I was just going to kind of see how it goes. No offense.
I'm going to offer you a choice, Maug. You can walk away. Put all of this behind you. Find more people. Start again. I think they would take you. He sort of gestures back to, the
Yeah. The helm.
the helm. It may not be such a bad life. Walk with the Pythia. If she does become so, it'll be dangerous. But it could work. Or you could truly become a part of my crew. Do you know what I am saying?
I think so.
We function on oaths, and those oaths are enforced. If you make promises to me now, you cannot go back on them.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a reason to go anywhere else. I'll be loyal to you, Captain. I think I've proven that point.
You have, but we're talking about your whole life. You understand that? Look at the people in there. Goes back at the helm. They took that oath. And they didn't even take it to me. They still must be loyal. You understand?
Yes. Until I die. I'll split skulls for you, Captain. It's the only thing I know how to do well.
I don't agree with that, but if you're sure. He grabs the air again. Unsheaths his sword from the air. Holds it up. One last chance to back out.
If you've ever seen a toddler take a defensive stance of like solidarity with their own decision to have colored a wall, just proud and just like almost defiant in such a way. The matted hair down in their face, dripping from their chin, just looking like,
Amadeo brings the blade before him. Say the words.
I pledge myself to the captain of the Burning Blade. To be a part of the crew. Even in death. And whatever comes after.
Amadeo, let's go. The blade disappears. Your words have been accepted. Welcome to the crew.
Put her there. Sorry I woke you up.
I was already awake. Come. We return.
Beautiful. The rest of you, having watched Mikos be carted out, seeing the window now closed to the outside. Laertes is now like adrenaline is now starting to like crash down again.
I'd say he's on the floor, leaning against the bed, and he's got that adrenaline crash shake.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the same way he normally does after he's been doing a lot of casting or anything. He's just, there's that intermittent shiver tremor. And he's kind of just staring off a little bit.
Go sit beside him.
The dagger is still there on the corner by the wall.
Is going to reach out for it to float over to him. But he's going to just put it down, and he'll deal with that later. I have been waiting for that to crop back up ever since we left Ilum. I'm more surprised it's taken this long.
I'm glad you're still with us. Kind of impressed you managed to piss someone off so much they sent an assassin after you.
Well, considering everything else we've been dealing with, I'm almost surprised it hasn't happened before. I'm not being glib or cute. It's not the first time one of the fragments or something else has taken interest in me. And while I have my theories on that, fundamentally doesn't change anything. The task is still the task. One silver lining is that I at least have an idea of something.
What's your hypothesis?
And he's going to look over where the stone man was. These pieces of the equation I've been missing. I don't know how to help someone like Xanthus, Callisto. But everything I see gives me just one more clue. One more missing variable. Might take me the rest of whatever time I have left. But I feel like I can actually start answering that question one day.
We're here for you, whatever you need. I'll help fight for more time for you.
He's just going to just reach over with that tremor-ridden hand, and he'll just hold hers for a moment.
Do you think, Laertes, that this means we need to do anything about these guides, Amadeo and his crew?
Well, considering one of them just saved my life, maybe give him a raise.
One of them just tried to kill you, too.
Mixed messages, I grant you. But one of them made an active choice.
And
That
you don't
shouldn't be.
suspect. You don't suspect that there will be another instance of this?
Think about everything we've seen so far. That was on the mundane side of things.
True. And if I trust your judgment, you seem to be the target so far. Even mundane things can kill you. And I just want to do vigilance. If you think that there is no need, we'll steer the course.
I think if someone gets between Amadeo and his money, I think we're safe with that proposition. Unless someone makes him a much better offer.
Amadeo's like,
Go on. What does Phobos pay? I need to sleep.
How are your sheets even dry? Do we need to swap rooms?
He's going to use his free hand and he'll reach over and just do what you've seen him do 1,000 times now, and that static roll through, for the sake of ease, the room or wherever there is drops of water. Actually, no, scratch that. I want to do something else. There's that start of it. And while there's that slight ozone smell as the drying starts to happen, he stops. And he instead brings the errant water to a little floating globule in his hand. Kind of like if you've ever seen videos from the International Space Station where they just let a glob of water flow through.
mm-hmm.
And that's when he'll close his hand and that ozone smell happens again and it is finally gone.
disappears.
That being said, I kind of don't want to sleep in the room by myself.
Davos is like, I will watch over you this time. The one time I try and sleep with the rest of you. And I was, okay, that's not what I meant.
I kind of want to sleep alone now.
That was
You
your
know
plan
who-
worked.
You know who's a great person to sleep in the room with you? Mal. She doesn't sleep. She'll just stare at you.
Out of character, you just realize you've created in this universe the Chuck Norris facts. Maug doesn't sleep, only waits. I don't think I'll be awake enough long enough to notice either way. Someone else make the decision.
You'll be watched. Go to bed.
That is a less comforting sentence than you think it is. And he just crawls.
What do you want from me?
Sweet dreams, Laertes.
Alrighty. Okay. As the rest of you go back to your rooms, go back to sleep, a long rest is finally achieved. Woohoo! For all of those, spent spell slots you said. Well, some of you, I guess. There was some, I was like, there was
I got
some.
my ability to fly back.
Yeah, this is true. Okay.
I did make a horse in the meantime.
That is true. By the next morning, the rain has stopped. And the sun creaks through the slatted windows. As you guys prepare and get ready to head across the bay to Thebes. You guys goes downstairs, and Mineko has prepared a lovely little breakfast for you guys to send you off with. Laertes, you receive you receive a sending. Ares informed me of last night. You hear Hekate's words. This is what you must do. ... And she gives you a second and third sending to explain how to determine Orphic talent within an individual by touch. Basically, it comes down to an advanced version of Identify. We're just going to classify it as Identify.
Okay.
So
I like how you basically you gave him basically this patch update. Like download.
Here's Identify 2.5.
We noticed a bug where Identify was not working as intended.
Identify at this level has actually introduced new functionality.
Mm-hmm. You get the last of the couple of sendings, and you zone out, and then as you refocus, you see Amalene going, and she's like eating her breakfast, just shoveling down hers. This is like her second plate, by the way. Just like shoveling down all this food.
Monster.
Good morning, Capitanios.
Good morning. So today is going to be a very busy day. You will have to swab the deck, and then you will have to make sure all of the sails are properly stored And then after all of those things, you will have to braid my hair. And then after those things, you will have to braid Jamila's hair. And then
Out of character, remind me, is her hair fire like her mom's, or is it just a little like...
it's
like
a little
her mom's.
both. It's like it has fire like her mom's, but there's like it's like basically it's like the if an not an ombre, is it an ombre that's like half where like it's kind of like that. There's like part. It's like
Would I be able to braid it? Because Phoebe's totally down for the braiding of the hair.
I mean, if you touch it, it's not gonna actually burn you. It's
Okay.
It's just it
I can.
makes
Well,
the
get the-
illusion of fire.
Get over here,
I have
Capitanius.
control
I'm very good
flame.
at braiding.
I can tell you, Phoebe, that fire hair is a real pain to work with.
Come here, Capitanios. Let me braid your hair at least.
Okay. It's like leans back, like already like used to have her mom having done this 1,000 times.
Baby grew up at the temple. It's like summer camp hair every
Yeah.
day. We're just like rows of like French braids.
When everyone's down, Amadeo's going to say, I wanted to apologize for the disturbances last night. It was very unprofessional. It has been dealt with.
You have not seen Mog yet. And for a moment, you're like, and then a couple minutes, like a minute passes, and then you see Mog come down the stairs.
Cool. Thank you. Cypress is just kind of uncomfortable. Not sure what to say, so nods his head, says thank you, and focuses on his food.
How many
Like
of
at that
them
point.
are...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Just real quick, I said when I see Cypress being like, "Mary, Cypress, pull the ribbon out of my bag. I'm almost done."
You've got several in here.
It's got to be green. It's got to match.
Oh,
Come on, Cypress, get it together.
do you have to mention the color? You have.
It's. I thought it was obvious. Tyler.
You're gonna say something, Astrid?
Now that we've seen what that can do, I wonder how many stone statues were once people. What did you do with the body?
Marghetta's like, as she's chowing down some breakfast. Put it out in the garden.
That seems right. Was his face in when it
No.
turned to stone like one of horror?
No,
Or no? Okay.
it was just.
I'll just kind of slide my eyes and like non-verbally check on Themisto as Astrid's like, man, I wonder how many statues have been people before, knowing that that's like the
I mean-
stories of
Ooh,
Gorgons.
She's a little bit uncomfortable at that, yeah.
Oh no, the Orphics need an HR meeting apparently.
Oh my gosh, Astrid, you can't just ask about petrified people.
I didn't think about that.
Oh my god, Astrid, you can't just ask people that.
So if Phoebe catches your eye, Themisto, she'll kind of give you a soft smile as she finishes the braid and kind of like, you know, pats down any loose ends and knowing it's going to get like completely pulled out in like 20 minutes.
Misto will do one of those, like, it's alright, but it's clearly not totally alright little smiles.
Since her hands are free, she'll reach out and squeeze your hand.
Beautiful. Laertes.
I'm going to look over at Amadeo and gesture over to the unsaid daughter. And he's going to look down at her. It's like, Capitanios, I didn't get the opportunity to swear fealty to your captaincy.
That's right. Are you going to?
Well, and he's going to slide out of whatever chair he's in at the moment and politely get to one knee and try and take her one hand in both of his.
Okay. She does it.
He's going to try and multitask, do a I don't know, or a reading, whatever it is that has been given to him.
Mm-hmm.
Amadeus' crew have been protecting my life. One of them even saved it last night.
Really? I was asleep.
Well, as is the right of the captain. Delegate. So it would be my honor to swear fealty to you in return.
Okay.
And he'll go through with that.
You kiss her little hand.
Mm-hmm. For a moment, he thinks back to his own little sister. She's a little older than that now, but still some of that same rambunctious energy. Too smart for their own good. Getting into all kinds of trouble. Which also makes him both, I think, properly empathize with Amadeo's simultaneous hope and fear about what this test will mean for this little girl.
You go through the act, and as your hand holds hers, and it will say that it's one of those moments of like you leaning down to kiss the back of her palm.
Mm.
And as you do that, there's almost like a little bit of like static shock. It like crackles against your lip. And you have the weirdest little flash. A ship at sea. Billowing sails. A wind that drives it fast and true across the ocean. A now not so young Amalene at the helm. The wind that tossles this massive mane of hair. And her hands extended on either side. As she commands the winds to blow. And at her side, a series of bound scrolls. And then a flash. Another version of Amalene. Not a captain. She sits in a library filled with scrolls, untold numbers of scrolls, and you get a vibe of Kemet, but maybe years later. A library. At its center is this vast, it's like almost small little bit of statues. There's like a central, like, almost like a little indoor plaza, and it's got a couple of statues of these different heroic looking figures. One of them wielding a large sword. And she seems to be studying and pulling the scrolls out. In another flash, you see her with hair tightly braided back as she fights a chimeric looking monster. from her side, she pulls out a scroll and she flings the papyrus out into the air. It stops before her hand, and you can see her reading off like a series of words before this like dazzling array of fiery bolts surrounds her like a diadem of stars. It just goes. She fires off in this like crazy magic display. All of these potential possible versions of her. Whoever she winds up being years and years from now will be someone with a very interesting story. But the potential for her being Orphic, oh yeah. She's gonna be a wizard.
I see a future full of possibilities for you.
Really?
You don't?
No, of course I do. I was just surprised that you could see it. You know, you being a commoner and stuff. It's not often that commoners get to look upon greatness in its true form. Right, Mama? That's right.
Well, I am very humbled to be in your presence.
As you should. But for now, get up off your knees. If you can.
There's a moment where he actually doesn't know if he can.
He's been down there too long.
Amadeo will help him up. And as he's helping him up, he whispers, "And?"
All your fears and hopes are the same.
He looks at Mineko, who knew something was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a deep breath. Shit.
Please tell me that's how we end.
That's how we're ending it. Because that was amazing.
That was good.
I am obsessed with her.
That was beautiful. Shit. I love it. All right. Dope. Well. Wild beginnings, wild endings. Wild, just wild. Just wild wilds. Ew. Alrighty. Well, next session, Thebes. The great
Thebes.
unknown. And whatever a Cryos is. Interesting things.
Someone's gonna be a Cryos.
We don't know that yet, man.
Was that a crying pun?
Nah, sure, he'll be fine.
I like that it's probably just the KRIOS because that's the operating system that's running on
Yes.
whatever they have.
That would be
Does it
amazing
run
if
Crisis?
There, I've changed my name.
Wyatt has that name.
So we will be back in 2 weeks because next week we have the Christmas. Everyone will be doing their things. Everybody will be.
Tomorrow.
But tomorrow. But first, tomorrow, vampires. Mwahaha.
It's the bed of my night, where more shenanigans will happen after dark.
Yay. Do
Someone
we
might die.
have,
So
do we
most
have a date
shenanigans.
for the next Star Wars yet, or is that to be announced?
To be announced at the moment. We're still working out the exacts.
I'm really
Nice,
close.
nice.
But we'll
Martel's
figure.
like, we could play Thursday, right?
It would have to be Friday,
Oh,
unfortunately.
okay. I can do Friday. Eyes of Viewer. I'll
I
watch.
actually can't do Friday, but I would.
That's okay. We have.
He was
We ha-
hoping that the bluff would be only one layer deep.
Martel's gonna like open his computer at the company Christmas party. It's fine. It's fine. You just go on. I'll mute.
More Slurpee all the time.
If one of you does not show up with a very large Slurpee at the next game, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
I kind of want one. Not gonna lie. I need to find some.
Hear that, Shanks?
We need to find collective Slurpee tiki mugs or something. Alrighty. Well, until tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow night. So stay fey, be brave. The safe word is mango, and all the rest of that jazz. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Good night, everybody.